Buddhism, 100% definitely is based on logic. 100% is based on logic that you can examine and you can see and you can understand and you can incorporate into your lives. The crux of Buddhism, or the mainstay of Buddhism, or the real practice of Buddhism, is free from any type of magic and superstition or any type of supernatural things. It may seem supernatural to you because of your culture, the way you were brought up, or your non-familiarity with what is talked about. But actually, in Buddhism, there's nothing that is supernatural. And the reason for that is the main goal of Buddhism is to create enlightened beings, or to create enlightened Buddhas. So hence, to create an enlightened being is a step-by-step process within your mind, and its transformation. That transformation comes about from knowledge and understanding and incorporation of what you have learned. So therefore, nothing in Buddhism is illogical, cannot be debated upon, cannot be talked about. That's why Buddhist teachers always invite questions, always invite doubt, always is enlivened, excited, and also very, very open to questions and doubt. Maybe some people of certain religions are not open to questions and doubt because they're not very secure, or they don't understand what they're talking about very clearly. And also maybe they don't have a lot of confidence in what they're talking about. So, but in Buddhism, we invite questions, we invite doubt, we invite inquiries. And the reason is because that's how you learn. And there's nothing to hide. But there are certain practices in Buddhism that we may not understand, or we may not have a familiarity due to our culture or background or learning, that may seem mysterious or magical or not befitting of Buddhism. Some of us may think that, and we can think that because we don't have enough knowledge. Now, once you attain a Buddha mind, you attain a Buddha body. Your environment becomes a Buddha field. Your mind is a Buddha mind. Your body is a Buddha body. Your environment is a Buddha field. Hence, the environment of Buddha Vajrayogini is Kichara paradise, or Kichara. So hence, when we become a Buddha, even our environment becomes an enlightened place where other people can enter and receive teachings and transform. So then, when you attain that Buddha body, your body doesn't stay fixed. Your body doesn't stay fixed. It doesn't stay solid. It does not have to stay a certain form. Your body can take on any form, any color, any number of arms, any gender, your body can take on. And your body can emanate in many, many forms to benefit the viewer or spectator. And the reason is because the viewer, the spectator, or the knowledge seeker has different aptitudes. Because they have different aptitudes, you will appear in different forms to suit their aptitude. Because if you manifest yourself in such a way that they don't understand, they don't understand. Hence, if you give higher philosophical teachings of Buddhism, 90 to 95% of the people here would fall asleep. But if you bring that philosophy more on a simpler level, 90% will stay awake. 10% will fall asleep. Now, what happens is hence the many forms of a Buddha is specifically directed or emanated to benefit and to help that particular set of beings at that time and at that place. These forms do not stay solid or fixed. They can change in time. For example, some of the deities or some of the Buddhas we have in the current time period of Shakyamuni Buddha were not the same manifestations during the time of the previous Buddha, Krupachanda. The time of the previous Buddha, these beings didn't manifest the way they look now. Different people, different time, maybe different zone. Similarly, the enlightened beings we have now, at the time of the next Buddha, Maitreya, when he appears, when all these people, all these beings go to hell, also will not necessarily appear as they appear now. So Setra may not appear as a red horseman at the next incarnation or next emanation. It can appear as something else to suit the people of that time. So hence, Setra's lineage, Setra is a lineage that's 2,500 years old. You are tapping into an energy. You are tapping into a power. You are tapping into a type of being that has manifested in this manner for over 2,500 years. So it's very, very powerful. It is very, very ancient and very old. Now, when Lord Buddha gave teachings, there were a multitude of beings. There were men and women, there were princesses, there were normal people, there were gods, there were demons, there were spirits, there were nagas. All beings of all manner came. And during Buddha's teachings, some actually meditated and gained some attainments. Some changed their ways. Some even took oaths during Buddha's talk, because the Buddha's talk transformed their minds completely. So what happened? And there were some people whose minds were not transformed. There were some people, yes, it's possible, that were not transformed. They don't have the karma to receive. Now, when Buddha taught the Dharma, if we apply the Dharma and we practice it, we will get results. But there's a problem. The problem is many of the negative karma that we have done in our previous lives, many of the negative things that we have done in this previous lives will manifest as physical or mental or psychological problems to stop us. They'll manifest as family. They'll manifest as money. They'll manifest as lack of money. They'll manifest as business. They'll manifest as friends. They'll manifest as sickness. Some of us will manifest in serious, horrible, debilitating sickness due to the negative and horrible things we have done before. For people who are very sick, instead of crying and feeling sorry for themselves, it's very important to do practice. Practice two ways. One is to heal. The other is to prepare. So one who has training in spiritual practice, when difficult situations come like that, you will know what to do instead of crying and complaining. Why? If they, the sick one, are crying and complaining, you join them and cry and complain. You just add to their power, add to their suffering, add to the power of their unhappiness. Why would you do that? And you do that not because you want to, because you yourself is untrained. Because you yourself is untrained, you will add to the problem, add to the sickness. So if they have financial problems and difficulties, you will add to it. If they have mental problems, you will add to it. If you have psychological problems, you will add to it. You will add to every problem that other people have because you yourself is untrained. So hence, when you're doing Dharma practice, all these obstacles will manifest. Why? Because you're doing something very good. Whenever you do something bad, there's no obstacles. When you do something good, there's always obstacles. Why? Because something wants to stop you. That's your karma. So your negative obstacles, your negative problems arise as anger, lack of confidence, no faith, or it will manifest as laziness. It will manifest as you make up excuses not to do it. It'll even manifest as marriage. It'll manifest as lack of marriage. It'll manifest as a relationship, or it'll manifest as losing a relationship. There's no fixed ways obstacles can come to disturb us. Why is that? Because this obstacle that arises may disturb this person, but may not disturb that person. Example, you go to the Dalai Lama and say, oh, your bad karma has arisen, you're not going to get a wife. The Dalai Lama is going to be like, so? I don't get a wife, no big deal. But if they tell some lusty old fella in here, you're not going to get a wife, or you're going to lose your wife, because that's their state of their mind. That's the state of their mind. So hence, what's my point? Obstacles arise differently for different people because they have different states of mind. So when you do Dharma practice, when you do spiritual practice, what are you doing? And let me tell you why the obstacles come. Because you are directing your mind towards purifying. You are directing your minds towards transformation and changing. You are directing your mind directly to taking the causes of those sufferings out. So you are touching those actual obstacles. Does everybody understand that? You are touching those actual obstacles. When you touch those actual obstacles, of course those obstacles come and disturb you. I'll give you an example. If you have a basket of snakes, and you leave it in a corner in the cellar, 12 stories under the ground, it's not going to bother you. But if you take an elevator down there and you stick your hands in a basket, you're going to get bitten, right? Of course. Similarly, when you leave your anger alone, and you just keep getting angry, you're happy being angry, right? You think you're happy. No one disturbs it. So if you're a controlling type of person and you manipulate and you hurt your spouses and hurt your friends, or you do things to hurt others all the time, but it looks like it's very nice, then when you do Dharma practice, the karma will come back. Why will the karma come back? Because when you do Dharma practice, the minute you take refuge in a Buddha, the minute you take refuge, the ceremony, you will see a lot of things go haywire. Do you know why? Because you are putting the light in the darkness, you're cleaning out the garbage, you're cleaning out the room. So there's a lot of dust. So when people take refuge, anger comes. Obstacles come, car accidents come, problems come for some people. Some people, when they do Dharma protective practice, immediately after Dharma protective practice, something horrible happens. Some people, because it comes differently. Why? Is the karma coming out? You think, oh, then I better not do this practice. Oh, you're silly. You know why? Because then this obstacle, this karma will just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So later in the future, maybe you don't just have a small car accident, they just steal your car. I don't need to point at anybody, but really, it can become bigger. And if you leave the karma more and more, maybe you have some kind of disease in your body that you can't even drive the car anymore. Why is that? Because the karma only comes back to the people who have done it. Is this a guilt trip? No. Open your mind and accept yourself and accept how you were and what you have done and what you have not done. Accept, that's the first step. Don't reject. Accept that you have done wrong. Accept that you have done good. Accept that you have good qualities. Accept that you have bad qualities. Accept, that's the first step. By making your mind blank or blocking it out, you will continue your current state of unhappiness. Why is that? Because you block out the remedy. Like a leukemia patient who doesn't listen to the doctor, you block out the remedy. So hence, obstacles come to people who are touching the obstacles, who are poking at the obstacles, and who are applying the remedy. Example, when you are very sick and a doctor gives you a remedy, immediately, cancer treatment. What's the name of cancer treatment, somebody? Chemotherapy is more painful than the actual disease. Vomiting, nausea, dizziness, headache, heaviness. When they put that shot in you, the chemotherapy shot, the chemo shot, you suffer more than your actual disease. But you see, then people will say, well, I don't want to get it because I'd rather die than do this. You're stupid. Because this pain you're getting removes the bigger pain. Hence, when you do Dharma practice, you will have obstacles. You will have problems. You will see your anger flare up. You will see more obstacles and problems and difficulties and mental difficulties, fear, running away, not committing. You will see all of that arise. Let me tell you why. Because you are poking directly at your fears. So of course all that arise. So hence, people get angry at the Lama. The Lama is the kindest person in your life because the Lama diagnoses you, profiles your mind, understands you, and matches up the scriptures and comes up with a prescription and pokes you. Gives you a practice, gives you a method, gives you a prescription, and challenges you. Those who get angry at the Lama, question the Lama, or say, oh no, cannot, then you go study for 30 years and come back and find your own solution. Simple. You go to the monastery and study for 30 years. You go become a monk and nun and study, and then you come back and say, let me challenge the teacher now and debate. But if you don't put the effort in, and the Lama gives you a method, and you criticize, and you doubt, and you don't accept, and you don't lie, and you fight, and you make up excuses, it's silly. It's like us fighting with the doctor about a prognosis when we know nothing about medical practices. Nothing. It's like me fighting with the doctor when I know nothing. So similarly, those people who fight with teachers, I'm not saying follow your teacher fanatically. I'm saying after you have accepted a person as your teacher, then you should think of this person as, especially after you took refuge, you should think of this person as a teacher and go through with the training and go through with the purification and go through with the transformation, because this person has profiled your mind, adapted it to what it says in the scriptures to match your type of mentality, and applied it and give you different methods. So a teacher can make fun of you. So a teacher can make you say, hey, give up everything, come for the Dharma. Why? Even the teacher knows you won't give up everything and work for the Dharma. The teacher lets you see your mind. They let you see how you think and what you're attached to and what you want. The teacher lets you see. It's called skill. So hence, sometimes the teacher say, hey, do 100,000 prostrations. You do 5,000, 6,000, you quit. Oh, I can't, I got this coming in, I got that coming in. You talk to your friends support you. Why do they support you? Because they're just as ignorant as you. Of course they're going to support you. Hey, let's go drink. Let's go look at pretty Chinese girls. Let's go get drunk. Let's go listen to karaoke. Let's go. Forget the separate practice. What are you wasting your time for? Of course they're going to tell you to forget it because they need a friend to waste their time. That's an obstacle. Why is that an obstacle? It takes you away from doing something deeper and more beneficial. So hence, when we take refuge, when we do pujas, when we do prayers, we do meditations, sometimes we engage in retreats or we do Dharma work. For some people, it seems that more obstacles have arisen. More problems and difficulties has arisen. But let me tell you something. Those obstacles didn't arise because you're doing Dharma work, or Dharma practice. Those obstacles arise because Dharma showed you how your mind is. So hence, if you're not happy at how Dharma treats you, Dharma, Guru, and work is not to blame. It is your own mind to blame. A, do something about it. B, do nothing and pout. It's your choice. If you pick A, you will become better and bigger and more fabulous. If you pick B, you're reincarnated as some mole in a dark hole somewhere. Because that's what you're doing. You're blocking everything out. So therefore, when you do Dharma practice, when you do certain pujas and you do certain rituals, certain things can come out. It's just like when we detoxify. You know, I have a certain friend from Hong Kong who likes to stick pipes up her butt and put water up there and drain her intestines out and become purified of her toxins or whatever like that. I have this friend from Hong Kong. I won't mention her name. She loves it. She loves sticking the pipe up her butt, shoot the water up there, and she looks at all the things that comes out. The shapes and sizes and colors she looks at. And she SMSs and tells everybody, wow! What's my point? When it detoxifies, it's like that. So when you're doing a puja, don't you think all those things will come out? When you take refuge, don't you think all those things will come out? When you do Dharma practice, don't you think all those things will come out? I've had stupid people tell me, hey, don't take all these commitments out with Tibetan Buddhism and take all these vows and take all these promises. When you do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, then you're stuck, your business don't move up one, you know? I've had smart people come and tell me their friends told them that. Then I said to them, you know what? Then Buddha's not a Buddha. Tsongkhapa doesn't exist. That is stupid. Dalai Lama is a fraud. Stupid. Actually, they come and tell me that. That's why they don't want to get too involved in the center. They want to go and make money first. Or maybe they want to take care of their family first. Because if they do all these Tibetan practices, take all these vows, it can actually, if you break the commitment, the protector, like the karma come back very strong, cannot be successful in business, you know? I said, you know what? That's so illogical. So when you get chemotherapy, don't get it because it's quite painful. It doesn't make sense to me at all. So hence, you get all kinds of people coming in. I call them clowns. Why do I call them clowns? Let me tell you. It's not to put them down. It's because what they tell me makes me laugh. Clowns make us laugh. Clowns entertain us. So when all these funny people come in, and they talk all kinds of funny things, they have all kinds of funny views, it's really, really funny. Of course I can't laugh at the state very start, like, oh money. Oh money. And inside I'm like, some of these people, hey, Rinpoche, how long? I'm 180 years old, I've had 15 mistresses, and I've got 100 kids, and I can't let go. How am I going to do Dharma? Oh, money. I try not to laugh. You know why I try not to laugh? Because what they say, the statement itself is so silly. The statement itself is so ridiculous. Some of them, they're already 500 years old. You tell them to become a monk, they go, but I got my life ahead of me. I'm like, you just never mind. You forgive them and let them go, and you don't laugh too hard. That's why I call some of these people clowns. Is not derogatory. When you see clowns, it's not nothing bad. They make you laugh, and a lot of people make me laugh. Sometimes I laugh so hard I cry. Actually, I'm crying most of the time now. I laugh so hard. You know what's the most sensitive point in this country? Here, let me tell you. When you ask people to give up some of their time to samsara and do Dharma work. Oh, wow. The explanations you hear. And the excuses they come up with. And the way they talk and the way they say things. I'm going to write a book about that, actually. I am. I'm writing a book. I'm going to write a book about, not to put people down, but to let people see how their mind works before it's too late. So I'm going to write a book. I already told KMP. I conceptualized this book about 2 days ago. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to come out with it so people can see how their mind tricks them and gives them all kinds of wrong information. And it's very sad. Very, very sad. I feel sorry for that type of mind. So therefore, now, because when we do Dharma practice, we are touching on those very sensitive points, negative karma, our habituations, our laziness, our failures. When we do Dharma, all that is touched upon. So when all that is touched upon, we get sensitive, we get angry, we retaliate, or obstacles come up. Some people, when they do Setra practice or they do certain practices, they actually can see spirits. They say, I do this practice, I can see spirits now. I don't want to see spirits, I don't want to do this practice. But what they don't understand is those spirits have been following them around anyway. It's true. I'm not putting them down. Those people have been followed by the spirits only they couldn't see. Now you do Setra practice, you can see. Now you do Dharma practice, you do Tsongkhapa practice, you can see the spirits. You should be very happy. Now you can do something about it. Because maybe one of these days, these spirits, when you're walking by, goes like that and you fall. Oh, I know people who get harmed by spirits directly. They won't tell you, they don't want to admit because they're manwa. I have people like that. They don't want to admit. But when they're alone with me, they're like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? When their wife and friends come in, they go, no, it doesn't bother me. What? They say like that. A lot. Because they can't admit they're scared because they're manwa.